Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janion Jacobs, and I will be presenting work done by master student Jacobs. We're sorry we can't be with you today. Abdul is currently a field assistant on Marion Island, and I am attending an Antarctic conference in Melbourne, Australia. But we are delighted to share our work with you. Soils are complex habitats which are functionally important to human survival and well-being, providing direct utility in food production and for natural resources, while also providing cultural, recreational, and aesthetic value. Almost 60% of all life on Earth occurs in soil. So soil plays a major role in agroecosystems as they are the medium in which crops are planted as well as a reserve for nutrients. But despite its importance, soil and its inhabitants are largely understudied in South Africa. Soil contains numerous micro, meso, and macro arthropods, including bacteria and fungi, to name a few. These soil fauna and biota play a vital role in maintaining healthy soil functioning. However, about 33% of global soils are considered degraded and are projected to reach over 90% in 2050. This can, of course, have far-reaching effects such as affecting food security, human health, and also result in long-lasting ecological and environmental consequences. Agricultural landscapes have both contributed to and are being affected by soil degradation, and this could include the use of agrochemicals, erosion, and losses in soil organic matter. And all of these decrease soil health. Agriculture continues to be a significant industry in South Africa. The export of fresh fruit and vegetables can generate in the excess of $3.5 billion. And although more holistic agricultural practices have been gaining in popularity and have been shown to be beneficial to soil health, we need large-scale adoption in order to ensure food security and productive soil ecosystems as we move into an uncertain future. This study looked at the influence of organic mulch inputs on springtail assemblages. These springtails were used as a proxy for soil health, while also compiling baseline data of this taxa found in South African orchards. Springtails, as shown on this slide, are a group of arthropods which closely resemble insects and are one of the most abundant soil microarthropods in the soil. Unlike insects, they lack a hard exoskeleton. They prefer cooler, moisture environments, so they are great indicators of soil health. Because of their small size, however, they're not as well studied. This study was conducted in 4 commercial apple orchards, 2 in the Collembola and 2 in the Warmbokkenveld in the Ceres production region during 2020. We investigated the differences in springtail assemblages between orchards with and without organic mulch inputs over 3 seasons. Farms using mulch placed them on the bunkie or the berm as part of their floor management strategy and was otherwise conventionally managed. Samples were collected for 3 seasons, namely winter, spring, and summer. This is the layout of our study design. 5 trees were marked and 2 soil samples were taken at each point during each season. In the bunkie is shown in red and a sample in the work row shown in blue. 4 of these blocks were identified within the same orchard, resulting in 40 soil samples collected from each site per season. To take the samples, we took about 500 milliliters of soil, including a bit of litter, to a depth of 10 centimeters in the bunkie and in the row. And this shows Abdul taking the sample in one of the sites. Samples were then taken back to the lab and extracted using Tolgren funnels, and this is a common method for collecting soil microarthropods. Microarthropods basically are put on top of the mesh, and over a week or 2 they fall through down in ethanol. The extractions were then cleaned, processed, and sorted to morphospecies, and this really takes the longest time of any study. At the bottom right, you could see Abdul spending countless hours in the lab. And here are some of the remarkable Collembola or springtails we found. There was a total of 480 samples and we found more than 18,000 individuals. These included 33 species from 11 families. As you can see, Collembola vary remarkably in size and shape, and we were very, very happy with our results with the diversity. Now let's move on to some results. Showing in this box plot, we plotted the abundance and species richness of the different seasons. The abundance plot can be seen on the top and the richness at the bottom. So no significant differences were found across seasons for the mulch treatments. However, the no mulch treatment saw a significant decrease in abundance from winter to spring and remained low for the summer. We also see similar results and trends when looking at the species richness for mulch and no mulch treatments, shown at the bottom. And this basically shows us that mulch is very important in springtail abundance and species richness in the dry summer months in the Western Cape. We also plotted an NMDS to show the dissimilarity in the community composition. So that means the further the points are from each other, the more dissimilar the communities are. We can see that the community composition between the two treatments become more dissimilar from winter to summer. So the springtail communities are very different between seasons, which can be expected. When we look at the differences, however, between the bunkie and the row within each treatment, we can also see that the community composition between the bunkie and row tends to become more dissimilar from winter to summer, as opposed to in the no mulch treatment. And again, this just highlights the importance of mulch, especially in the summer season. Overall, this suggests that organic mulch not only plays an important role in buffering springtail assemblages during seasonal fluctuations, but also has an effect on springtail community composition and taxonomic diversity. This further shows that even simple practices such as mulching may significantly influence the soil biological communities. Furthermore, to our knowledge, this is the first detailed study of springtail diversity in apple orchards in Africa. This provides important baseline knowledge for future work on soil health in commercial orchards and other ecosystems. More research, however, is needed to understand the springtail taxonomy and ecology, but also in ways these organisms can be useful indicators of soil health in agricultural landscapes. Springtails are very important prey for taxa such as spiders and predatory mites, so we believe they're very important in sustaining these natural predators during times where the pests are not as abundant. We would really like to thank Hordcrow for funding this research, and also for our research group, for co-authors, and everyone that's played a role in conducting this research. Thank you very much for the farm owners for access, and thank you for listening. We're very happy to take questions online. Have a lovely day.